Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. I'm in the mood for top 10 videos, so you will notice I've already posted my top 20 Latafa fragrances, and I'm sure by the time this video is up I would have posted my top 10, not top 20 Paris corner fragrances, and this is going to be for Maison Alhambra, but in this case it's going to be a top 10. I decided to go with a top 10 Maison Alhambra because I separated Maison Alhambra from Latafa. I didn't include any Maison Alhambra in my Latafa list. I wanted to treat them separately. So this is going to be a top 10 Maison Alhambra, a subsidiary or sister company to Latafa anyways. And at the 10th position, I'm going to go with Opera Noir, known to be inspired by Black Opium, from YSL. And that is like quite a controversial fragrance. A lot of people call it, all sorts of names, but beautiful. But the other half of Francom, population sort of, love this, including myself. I love Black Opium. I have the OG Black Opium EDP, and I also have the Opera Noir, and it is a good interpretation. It used to be a little, screechy from the beginning, but it has macerated and turned out beautifully, I only put it as number 10 because it is a scent profile that has been around for a long time, and a lot of us are already accustomed to it. We already know it. A lot of people have sort of been there, done that, and that is why I decided to put it at least it should be on the list, but at least on number 10 somewhere. So Opera Noir by Alhambra is going to be the 10th position. As number 9, I'm going to go with Alive Now, and this has been likened to Angel Nova, from Mugler. And this is a very beautiful lychee, raspberry, berries and some vanilla and some woody base. It is quite woody at the base. I've forgotten which wood exactly this one has, but it has some woods that sort of, grounds the whole fragrance together. And this is a very fun, flirty, also sort of, a fun, flirty, but matured kind of way. It doesn't give you your juvenile sort of flirty one. This is beautiful, very beautiful, and I decided to put this one at my number 9. Currently the prices of most of these fragrances have dropped significantly, and you are getting some of these for as low as 18 to 20 to $25 for the most part, for most of these fragrances. And that is the reason why I want to introduce to a lot of my new audience. I know I have a lot of new audience members on this channel, so Alive Now is one that I would highly recommend if you want something fun and flirty. It doesn't give me only summer vibes, it gives me year round, because it is thick enough to cut through the cold, with that vanilla and that sickeningly sweet sort of raspberry lychee feel that this one has, and it's beautiful. So number 9, Alive Now. At number 8, I'm going to go with Max Vanille. That is Max Vanille inspired by Mancera's Roses Vanille, and that is a very good interpretation of Max Vanille. It's going to give you almost an identical feel to it, with the roses, the Max, the vanilla. Obviously that is what it is like. The composition of it is a very feminine, ultra feminine one. I don't see Max Vanille as even unisex. To me it is a very feminine one that I consider very sensual. It doesn't do too much. It could be a very good signature scent. It doesn't come across as something I would use for like special occasions per se, but it comes across as a very good signature scent. It's quite memorable, and that fragrance is like a DNA that's it's a DNA that a lot of us are used to and love. So at number 8, I'm going to go with that Max Vanille. At number 7, I'm going to go with an inspired version of Initio's Max Therapy, and this is Infinite Max. And I think Alhambra did a phenomenal job, doing this particular fragrance. Infinite Max is a very simple, elegant, fresh, clean, musky fragrance with some florals and a slightly woody base to it. This is a very sultry, almost unisex leaning to me. It doesn't come across as your ultra feminine or super masculine. It is a very in the middle unisex, musky, floral, woody fragrance to me, but it feels very clean, very serene and calming. It doesn't give you anything like with a zhuzh. It's like more of a calming, relaxing one, that you can use for a lot of occasions, including the bedtime. It is excellent for intimate occasion, or when you want to just be by yourself without doing too much, or when you want to have a fragrance on without smelling too overdone. Infinite Max is one of those fragrances that you can easily reach out to. It could also be a very good signature scent because it is not a heavy one. It is quite close to the skin. It sits quite close to the skin. And it's a very good one, being unisex. I love it on men as well. I love it on women, and very inoffensive that you can wear to the office, very simple, intimate, close-knit occasions that nobody's going to be offended by. So at number 7 is going to be Infinite Max by Alhambra. At number 6, I'm going to give it to a more masculine fragrance, and that is going to be the Tax. I wanted to give at least one that I can dedicate to the men, and this is the Tax. Even Alhambra has one known as Kismet, for men, which follows suit, the same sort of YSL tuxedo sort of feel, but I decided to go with the Tax here because when I compare the Tax and Kismet for men, that one feels a little more with an oomph. There's something more to it than the Kismet, magic, not Kismet magic, like Kismet for men. Although that one is like equally beautiful, but I prefer the Tax. When it comes to Alhambra, I prefer the Tax over Kismet for men. Nonetheless, both are very beautiful vanilla fragrances, like vanilla and plum, fragrances for men, inspired by the Tuxedo by YSL, so that is going to be at my number 6. At number 5 is going to be a fragrance I have raved about, and I love this scent. I have since fully utilized my narcotic flower. It was one of my earliest introduction to Maison Alhambra, narcotic flower, because I used to, I really wanted to get a bottle of Fleur Narcotique. And if you know the story about my bottle of Fleur Narcotique, I bought it, and turned out to be a fake one, and that is how much I wanted to get a bottle of Fleur Narcotique. And when I chanced upon narcotic flower by Alhambra, it gave me almost an identical feel. It gave me the same thing. It's like the same feel, very close, almost like a one-to-one. It's one of the best that I have come across in terms of being an inspired by version of Fleur Narcotique. I think lately there's been a lot, there's this debate about Fleur Narcotique and Valaya, and then Mystic Bouquet, Orienticus, Fleur Orientica, being like in the same family but also different, and people sort of prefer one over the other. For me, I still haven't tried Valaya, unfortunately I still haven't tried that, and Fleur Narcotique is the only one that I know and I love, and I currently have Fleur Orientica, that is inspired by narcotic flower. I currently have that, but I much prefer Alhambra's version of Fleur narcotic flower. I much prefer that version to the Oriental one, although that is also equally beautiful. So that is going to be at my number 5. At number 4, I'm going to go with Reina, Ansam Gold's other, more sort of, accepted, version, because Ansam Gold is like the one from Latafa and the more complex one, whereas Reina is the more straight up, Oriana, one-to-one with the citruses and the marshmallow and the whipped cream and the vanillas, and the fruits, supporting it beautifully. That is going to be a very feminine, ultra feminine fragrance. It gives me, a lot of people say that it gives them Barbie vibes, and I perfectly understand that. It's like a very girly, I wouldn't say juvenile. It is one of those matured girly pink, it's like soft and pink, the bottle say it's pink, and the fragrance smells like, a pink Barbie sort of feel, and Reina is a good one. It is also currently selling for around $20, like $20, for the most part. You're getting some of these fragrances for as low as less than 20, and Reina is a good one for that price. Even if it's selling for around 35, 40, I think it is still a very good one. So Reina is going to be at my number 4. At number 3, I'm going to go with one of the latest, hype piece, and that is going to be Athena. And I knew I'm just going to be political here. I'm going to be a little political here, because if I didn't put this one like a bit high up, a lot of people were going to come for me. And I'm not doing this because I feel a lot of people might come for me. Not only do I like this fragrance, I really do. If I had not come across Anham from Latafa, I would have been all about, Athena. But because I have Anham and have compared and sort of prefer that slightly over this, That is why I'm being a little political about it, So I wouldn't say it is my 100% favorite. It is a good vanilla scent with some other, florals and apparently some leather. And I'm beginning to get the leather in this now that is, macerating beautifully. It is a good one. I wouldn't lie and say it is not. It is, but in comparison to Anham, I sort of prefer that. Athena is good, and I think it deserves a spot on this table. At number 2, I'm going to go with Kismet Angel or Kismet Magic. Currently, it's been sort of reformulated with the addition of the chocolate nuance, in the newer formulation. But this is the OG one, which sort of gives you like an exact thing, of angel share that I love. And this is good. It is like one of the best interpretations of angel share I have come across, in my Fracom journey, and this is a great one. So at number 2, this is a staple, and it has to be, on my top 10 Maison Alhambra / Latafa list, always. But in this case, a top 2, like a second spot for Maison Alhambra. At number 1, I'm just going to go with one of my most elegant, beautiful, womanly roses feel, and that is going to be nothing but Infinite Rose. This is a very beautiful, simplistic yet elegant, rose. I think some rose upon rose and some delicious sort of, fruits. This is beautiful. It is light, it is airy, it is powdery, it is musky, it is a bit of, a vanillic feel to it. Very feminine. It doesn't give me anything like masculine leaning, although like I can consider it unisex, but it's like ultra feminine rose and vanilla and musk and powderiness, and it is beautiful. Infinite Rose is a fragrance I am almost out of, I'm almost out of this, and I'm thinking of repurchasing another bottle. Between this and getting I'm thinking about this and another one, but that is not the same thing, but it sort of gives me a similar feel. So between that and this one, that particular one and this one, whenever I run out of this, I might most likely get, one of them to replace this. But this is a very beautiful, lovely, womanly feel, nothing juvenile. It's a rose scent that is not like grandma-ish, a lot of people complain about some rose scents being a little too matured, but this doesn't come off as matured smelling. It comes across as a very modern, polished, rose scent, and it had to be at my number 1 for Alhambra. And that is going to be it for today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.